So, I thought I would give Rocket the day off and make this a little bit more of a serious video, if you like. So he's up in bed, and he can rest. He can sit this one out because whatever you guys think, look, I'm the boss. So look, we've seen the interview with law enforcement finally giving us an update on the Summer Wells case, and I think there's a bit of mixed emotions about what they've said, because on one hand you could kind of say, well, look, what have you actually learned? Because what it seems to be is that you've pretty much learned a lot of what we've learned online, and you're kind of in the same position as we are. There's so much potential for different things to be what happened that you can't find that missing link, that thing that says, look, this is what happened to Summer that day. And I think there's some reality in that, and some harsh reality in that. And that is that, look, the reality is that this is a case where there is lots and lots of different possibilities. You know, ultimately, TBI can only do so much. They are no different than what we are. Yes, they hold the job position and job titles as law enforcement, and, you know, but I think we have to detach that from them and realise that they are only human. Now, if the entire force of social media and even people getting involved in these lives of the people who were there with Summer, if they can't even find anything out, and the manipulation and the being fake to get close to them, if that doesn't even work, what more can law enforcement do except work with the facts? And what are the facts? The facts is that we were told that on the 15th of June 2021, Summer went out for the day with her family and a family friend's son, or not a family friend's son, a family friend, Candace's young friend, and they went and done some bits and pieces and came home, and around 6:30 p.m. Summer disappeared. She was abducted, apparently. You know, they ruled out wandering off, and, you know, that's the only real fact, because the only people who can give facts are the people who was there. Every single thing else is speculation. You have facts, you have digital data to back up anything that's said, you look for holes, you look for gaps, and to see where the people who should be telling you nothing but the truth are in fact lying, because there's something in that timeline, in that information, that doesn't add up. And then if there is something that needs to be pulled apart, then that is indeed pulled apart and exhausted. But look, this is where I think we are. I think we are in a very frustrating situation, and that is that there is so much mud in the water that it's very, very difficult to focus on Summer, focus on the day, focus on what could and couldn't have happened. And unless things do change, there is a real danger that this case could turn cold, like we saw with Madeleine McCann. For those of you who don't know the Madeleine McCann, go and check it out, because that case, when you strip everything bare, it pretty much mirrors what we're seeing with the Summer Wells case. This was one of the highest, if not the highest profile abduction or missing child cases ever. And it has some very, very distinct similarities, in which, in the Madeleine McCann case, law enforcement and a very highly respected police chief had investigated everything and brought in help from other countries such as the UK. We saw the cadaver dog, and that was Eddie and Keela, the two different dogs, and these were some of the best dogs in the world. And everything pointed towards the parents, but then when you started getting involved, the social media got the public involvement, and everything got muddied beyond belief, the lines then started to blur. And what turned out to be a pretty cut and dry, at the very least, parental neglect leading to the harm of a child, nothing happened. It turned into it is a cold case. I don't think the Madeleine McCann case will ever get brought to a conclusion unless one of the Tapper 7 speak. I just can't see it happening. I think there's far more to that than meets the eye. And I think we're seeing the same thing here. There's so much going on around this place, even before Summer went missing and not even connected with perhaps what happened, what we're finding is being investigated regarding Summer. The issues with drugs, the issues with these people around this home who shouldn't be, the trips to other states for nefarious things I can only imagine. But all of these things amalgamate into one huge melting pot of problems that just are going to overspill, and everybody has got something to lose. So everybody is hiding something that they know for the fear of reprisal. And I think it's going to take somebody in that, from that day, if indeed there was a day, to come forward and say this is what happened. And the more you look at the likes of Don and the way that he is and the way he's recently behaved around the SA allegations, this guy he doesn't show remorse. He doesn't show pity. He's just going to ride the tide. He's got nothing. I don't think he feels anything. I don't think he cares. It's just the way he is. He is hardened to it. And I think we have to pray that this is the case. And I think that it comes to a point with law enforcement that there is one last roll of the dice. And that could potentially be what we've seen in this interview. And it is to say, look, we've done everything that we can, and they've concluded that there's no sign of abduction. There's nothing that can lead them to say someone was abducted. They've put nothing out to the public. They've put nothing out whatsoever. And I believe that why this hasn't been done is because they know from watching on social media there is nothing more the public can offer. There is nothing. There is a very specific thing that is missing, and that is for someone to say, this is what happened. And that's what they're waiting for someone in the inner circle to slip up. And if you can't bring them in and ask them, because you know that's just not going to work, what else can you do? And that is to put the ball in their court and make it look like they have done the perfect crime. They've done it. There's nothing more to say. That's it. We're at a dead end. And then wait and listen. Because one thing we have learnt about these people is they can be loose-lipped. They're surrounded by drugs, they're surrounded by alcohol, and there's a lot of people to keep in check. And if they don't think they're being watched, if they think that the heat is off and they've potentially got away with it, that is the time that they are at their most vulnerable, and law enforcement and everybody out here on this platform are at their most dangerous. So now is a time to keep your eyes and your ears open. You look for things that are a clear indication of guilt, and if you see anything, go down the right channels to raise it. The people who are involved in the spiritual side of things, you heard, they were being as respectful as they possibly could. If you feel that you're helpful, then go down the correct channels and approach TBI. If they do not get back to you, it's probably because they've heard the same thing, they've investigated the same thing, and it has led to nowhere. But be respectful of Summer, be respectful of this case. And I think everybody has to, including this channel. We have to be respectful that we are now at a turning roads. And that is, look, this is either go down one of two routes. And that is that this family, these people in the inner circle are either going to slip up and someone's going to catch them on a slip up, or it's going to go cold. And they're the two choices. And it's going to go down one of them, and it's going to happen over the next few weeks and months. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, be respectful, and give TBI, law enforcement, the credit that they do deserve. And just remember, not everything as it seems. Take care, and I'll see you all very soon.